Hello everyone, Josh from C2000 here, and today I've got a video for you all on Red Hood number 50. And we're not just going to be talking about Red Hood number 50, we're going to be talking about Scott Lobdell's whole thing. So, I'm going to briefly talk about Red Hood 50, and then we're going to kind of talk about the whole lot as kind of like one big review. So Red Hood 50, it opens up with Red Hood kind of rescuing Duella Dent, or Joker's daughter, because in issue, I think 48 or 47, it was one of those two, the one that tied in with Joker War, he believed that she was dead, you know, Punchline was involved with it, and it's all stuff to do with Joker War, you know, go read Joker War. I'm not gonna have a video on Joker War immediately, but like, you know, I do want to do a video on Joker War at some point. So, you know, he rescues her, then, you know, we kind of get this whole kind of look back at all the stuff that's been done with Scott Lobdell's Red Hood run. You know, he talks about Roy, talks about Starfire, you know, like, he kind of has this conversation with Artemis, and, you know, it kind of like, it wraps it all up with him kind of coming, you know, back to Gotham, and, you know, he kind of gets this whole monologue thing. And, you know, it's, yeah, it kind of deals with, like, everything that's happened and kind of, like, closing the book on Scott's run, which, you know, like, it's basically just one glorified bookend. You know, it's an alright read, it's not a bad read. If you've enjoyed Scott Lobdell's run, you're probably going to like this. Here's the thing, getting into this, I kind of want to clear some stuff up to do with Scott Lobdell's Red Hood run. I know in a lot of my earlier videos, I bashed on it a lot, I ragged on it a lot, and I think that comes from me, that's probably my fault. This thing is, what you got to remember, I started comic book Carnage when I was in like the end of high school, so I wasn't necessarily the most mature person in the world. I know it's only been a couple of years, but you know, I've done stuff for filmmaking, you know, I've actually tried to write stuff myself, and I've come to have a bit more of my phone again. Did this the last time I tried to record this. I've got a bit more understanding now than I had when I initially started working on this kind of stuff. And, you know, I've kind of sat there in front of a blank page, you know, trying to figure out what I do. I mean, I've even written some Red Hood stuff, you know, like, and, you know, I don't have a guy coming in saying, oh, by the way, Tom King's gonna kill Roy Harper, so you can't use Roy anymore, you can't do this, you know, you can't use Rose because the Deathstroke team have done this, this, and this, and if you used it, it wouldn't make sense. You know, you can use these characters, you know, like, and you don't have to worry about trying to tie it into a whole big universe and trying to make sense of it. And as a consequence, you know, I've tried my best not to rag on it too much, but, you know, I also have kind of kept my original opinion that, you know, I don't think it's the best in the world, but, you know, hey-ho, there are people out there that, you know, really love, you know, the Scott Lobdell Red Hood, and, you know, like, you know, I appreciate it, good for you guys, you know, like, I'm kind of in the middle on it, because I can see the really great potential, I can see some really good ideas in here, but there's also a lot of stuff where DC are like, oh, you gotta tie in with that, you gotta do this, and it basically makes it a little bit messy, because it means, you know, there's stuff that he wanted to do that he can't do or hasn't had the chance to do. And, you know, that leads to things where, you know, I mean, for the most part, pretty much everything has had a bow on it, everything's been resolved. So, you know, you get a nice kind of ending, which, you know, it's unusual for comic book runs. Mostly they feel like, these days, they mostly feel incomplete when they finish. But hey ho, you know, like, Scott's had about 100 issues worth of comic to work with. You know, like, he's had 7 volumes for the original Red Hood and Outlaws. He's had another 2 volumes on top of that, with Red Hood and Arsenal. Then he's had how many volumes for the Rebirth stuff, and it's pretty much, you know, I mean, you're talking about the same sort of length as something like Sandman, you know, like, which was like about 11 volumes, you know. He's had a lot, he's had more than enough room to tell a complete story, and you know what? maybe, you know, I'm thinking that perhaps in the past I've been a bit too harsh, you know, because I was younger, less mature, didn't understand kind of like the creative process as much as I do now. I mean, you know, I'm not saying I'm anywhere near the like level of professionalism of like some of these creators, but you know, like I have a bit more of an appreciation now after trying to do stuff myself. And you know, there are some issues and there are some like story arcs that I really loved in Scott's run, and I want to talk about that as well. You know, I really loved what he did with Red Hood in Future's End, sorry. Like Red Hood Future's End was brilliant. I think that's the closest he's ever come to writing a Judd Winnick-esque Red Hood, and it was so good. And I even like the way he tied in the stuff with Roy into that. You know, like Roy tries to stop him because, you know, he's his friend. He thinks he's gone too far. He wants to help him. You know, and Jason says things, but you know, he really feels another way. You know, because he's using his brain to get out of the situation without having to actually kill Roy. You know, like he's trying to think, oh, if I can say something that's hurtful and throws him off for a few seconds, I can jump off this without him actually firing at me. You know, like ergo, I get out of the situation without fighting him. Like, you know, there's also the stuff with issue 26, 25, 24, where you've got Roy spending his last time with his friend before Heroes in Crisis, and you've got Jason reacting to what happened to Roy. You've also got the fallout after 25 with him falling out with Batman, you know, the whole new suit, trying to go about things his way again. You know, that was really good, and like, you know, that was good while it was lasted, but you know, at the same time you also have things like Generation Outlaw that I wasn't a fan of, you know, like, so for me, Scott Lobdell's Red Hood run is less terrible. Like, you know, it's not. I used to make it sound like it was awful, and you know, that was me being hyperbolic. You know, like me overreacting. And these days, you know, I think it's more a mixed bag. You know, like there's some stuff I love about it, some stuff I'm not so keen on. But let's talk about where it's going to go from here in, like, you know, issue 51 and beyond. And well, you know, here's the thing, I've not heard of this new writer they've put on the book, so I'm not entirely sure what to expect. I have no expectations going in. As much as I'd love to see it be a Black Label and like Red Hood going full Punisher, you know, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen in mainline DC. Flipping DC won't allow that. They don't want a character that's marketable and safe to be like this very dark vigilante, like, you know, like, I mean, you know, like, as much as we'd love to see a version of him that is like the Punisher, you know, like, Benny mentioned the idea of, Benny also mentioned in his video the idea of how come we haven't had a Black Label Red Hood book yet, where the writers can just do whatever the hell they want without being shackled by the mainline continuity. And like, he suggested Red Hood kills the Red Hood kills the DC universe. Sorry, I nearly said Marvel universe then. Although, to be honest, if they could do a crossover, I would like to see him come across people like Frank Castle and Ghost Rider. That would be pretty sick. And, you know, DC and Marvel did do crossovers back in the day. Like, you know, yeah, but, you know, like, I think that's a little bit too much ripping off Marvel. But, you know, I'd love to see something like that, but I know we're probably not going to get it, because that's my deepest wish, you know, to have like a Garth Ennis Punisher Max style thing for Red Hood. You know, like, that would be my dream version of Red Hood, kind of like a Red Hood set in an alternate universe, which is a mixture of Scott Lobdell's Red Hood and Judd Winnick's, you know, kind of taking the best of all of them and throwing it into a blender. That would just be perfect. But, you know, I know for a fact it's probably not going to happen for a long time yet, because the character is still in its infancy. You know, DC is still trying to figure out what they want. But, you know, here's the thing, Red Hood came out in 2005, you know, like Jason Todd's Red Hood. There was obviously Red Hood before that, you know, because it was Joker. And, like, you know, Jason's obviously been around before that, but, you know, he was Robin. But, you know, they're still trying to find what they want Red Hood to be. And, you know, like, Here's the thing, I think they want to settle on him being kind of an anti-hero, but they're not sure how far they want to push it. You know, like, they want him to be a vigilante, they don't want him to be like, you know, they don't want him to be a Boy Scout like Dick Grayson, you know, they want something different. But they're not sure if they want to go fully in with, like, the whole murderous kind of, like, you know, nutcase kind of vigilante. Like, you know, like, it's, yeah, so it's one of these things where I'm excited to see what's going, like, I'm excited to see what's ahead, and, you know, hey, maybe when I come back and read Scott Lobdell's run in a few years' time, I'll have a bit more appreciation for it, having, you know, like, seen how the characters kind of progressed. Because here's the thing, this is a point in time, you know, Scott Lobdell's run has gone for pretty much nearly 10 years, I mean, like, 2011 till present, so 9-10 years-ish, you know, so basically like a whole decade's worth of Red Hood content, you know, and like the character's first ever ongoing series as well, like, you know, because Lost Days, as much as I love Lost Days, it was marketed as Batman Red Hood Lost Days, you know, it was a tie-in to Under the Hood, it was a prequel piece, it wasn't an ongoing series, you know, like, you know, so it's the character's first attempt at like a mainstream title, and hey ho, it's done fairly well, people like it, you know, like, it might not be exactly how I envision it, but, you know, it's kept me entertained at least, you know, I've had feelings about it, you know, I mean, through Generation Outlaw was probably the only time I had just apathy towards the book, like, I either hated it or loved it at some points, you know, like, when I read the first volume of New 52 Redemption, I absolutely loved that, I loved what they were doing with it. The idea of these three broken heroes kind of coming together to try and be something better, that was good. I love that. Really good idea there. And, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, like, I rag on it, and, you know, I've kind of done it to death, you know, I kind of focus on the negatives and nitpick, and yeah, it's not fun, you know, I've had much more fun recording this video, talking about the stuff I like, and, you know, when you guys go back and watch my old Red Hood videos, please do bear in mind that I've grown up since then, I'm a bit more mature, have my head on my shoulders a bit more, you know, like, yeah, honestly, some of those Red Hood videos I'd actually want to delete. As I said in the Free Jokers video, I'm not proud of some of my earlier videos. Like, I did, the Killing Joke video I did was awful. Absolutely hated it. But, you know, here's the thing, you know, I keep it there because it's part of my channel's history. It's part of my show's history. You know, very much like it or love it, Scott Lobdell's Red Hood is here and it's part of the character's history. And, you know, maybe 10-20 years time when we look at it again, it's like, hey, this is actually alright. You know, like, maybe I did give that too much stick, you know, like, I enjoy it a lot more now. You know, it's like how, I'm trying to think of an example. I mean, it's like, if you look at Grant Morrison's, no, not Grant Morrison's, Frank Miller's All-Star Batman. It's bad, but it's so bad it's funny. I mean, like, you know, like, it's appreciated in a different way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, I might not be able to appreciate it as what I'd see as Red Hood, you know, but, like, I can appreciate it as Scott Lobdell's interpretation. Like, you know, like, this is what Scott thought of the character, you know? And it's an interesting look inside the eyes of another writer. So, you know, it's not bad, but anyway, guys, that's going to do it. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Sorry if this was kind of rambly, but I just wanted to do a piece talking about Red Hood before we go into... Oh, wait, that's another thing. I wanted to talk about Llewellyn Dent and Joker's daughter and the relationship he has with Joker's daughter. Like, the relationship with all the different characters in his supporting cast are brilliant. With the exception of Artemis. I'm not really a fan of Artemis, but that's just me. I don't like Artemis's personality. I find it a bit abrasive, a bit like sandpaper. Would have much rather Rose had stuck around, but that's just me, you know. I liked what he did with that, but you know, he obviously didn't, because he didn't keep it around. But here's the thing: you've got the thing where they're both, like with Duella, they're both victims of the Joker, and he kind of.
Message from the dark
My
side.
phone is seriously kicking off. Like, you've got Duella, like. Yeah, he's part of. You've got him with Duella, and he's kind of looking out for her, kind of trying to help her. But you know, that's what he's basically helping her, the way he wants, the way he wished he'd been helped by other people. And you know, like, you learn a lot about this version of Jason through the characters he's friends with. Like, you know, like a lot of the people he's friends with are broken people. Like, you know, Starfire, she's got her troubles, but you know, she's there, she supports him, she's a good friend. You know, she's kind of like the, you know, the one who you can go and cry on the shoulder of. You know, and you've got Roy, who, like, Roy, his relationship with Roy actually reminds me of my relationship with his best mate. You can say, like his and Roy's relationship reminds me of a relationship between me and my best friend, where it's one of those things where you wind each other the hell up, but you wouldn't have it any other way, because it's like, it would be boring if you know, it's one of those things where me and my friend Dylan went out for a drink, and he was so drunk he fell in the car. Like, he literally face planted on the back seat. And like, he was fine, by the way. He wasn't ill or anything. He wasn't sick. We got him home okay. But it's the thing, like, you know, you just accept him for that's who he is, and you know, you wouldn't have him any other way, because you know, life would be boring if he wasn't. You know, like, that's the kind of thing with Jason and Roy. You know, Roy is the one always spouting the jokes, always coming up with the stupid stuff, and Roy's kind of like the serious one. And no, Jason's the serious one, sorry, messed that up. But you know, and they kind of go well, and you know, they're just kind of like, you know, it works and it feels genuine, you know, like, you know. Want to briefly talk about his relationship with Jason and his relationship with Rose that they brought in like the back end of New 52. That relationship was really cool. I like the fact that they actually hinted at it. They didn't show much of it though. Oh, for God's sake, phone! Sorry, I have a uni group chat that I'm in, and it's absolutely lighting up like a goddamn Christmas tree. Right. So yeah, I'm muting my phone. I'm fucking muting my phone. Stupid thing. Sorry about that. I probably should have done that before I started recording. But I'm in uni now, if you guys don't know. I'm doing this because, as far as I'm aware, there's no set reading for this week, so I'm taking the time to do some videos for you guys because I enjoy them. Right, so this has been your weekly Red Hood video. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you all in my next video. I'm not promising what my next video is going to be, because I'm not sure what it's going to be. I'd like to do Hellblazer Rising Falls issue 2, because I've got it here. Need to sit down and read it. I'll probably do it later in the week. Hope you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next video. Goodbye.